Just wanted to give a quick thanks. I don't have any cool puns to say for a cold intro today, or what say you, but thanks for all the people who are watching this journey, interested in following along. I saw that I have 100 people who are subscribed, and hey, you all are cool. I appreciate it. I'm a freaking nerd. I love food. I love all these different things. So thanks for just being here with me. All right, we still have actual things today, but let's get going. Thanks again. Hi everyone, welcome to One Hungry Mish. It's me, Mish, and I am definitely a very hungry human today. I'm so excited to share with you all something that is pretty Chicago nostalgic for me. Fried tofu is something that you can enjoy in anything, but there is a place in particular that comes to mind that I texted a friend as soon as I'm like, I feel confident that this fried tofu reminds me of Rice and Bread's crispy tofu. So they're this small Korean American diner that's been around for ages. Like you go in, you literally see wall of photos of their regulars throughout the decades, and it's pretty phenomenal. Wanted to just share that with you all, and if anyone's been curious on how to fry your own tofu, but you only have an air fryer and it seems like it's really dry, or you don't have a deep fryer, and you're like, how do I do this? Well, I'm gonna tell you now. I literally just use a pot, small little pot, and I'll show you how to do it. It's not that bad as long as you have a thermometer, and remember that hot oil is very hot. Be careful. So how are we gonna make this today? You're going to need pretty simple ingredients. Firm tofu. You're gonna press this ahead of time. Mine's in a towel because I like to wrap mine and press it. Equal parts via weight of all-purpose flour, and likewise equal weight then to cornstarch. In this case, it's 50 grams of all-purpose flour, 50 grams of cornstarch, as well as 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt. The ratio is basically 1-to-1 of your main coating, as well as then 1/10 of one of those components in salt. I hope that's not confusing, but you're going to want one whole block of tofu to go with this. And then if you want, this for me, another inspiration that really said, hey, I should share this with people, is I've been going through a few cookbooks, and one of them is one that included fried tofu, and they actually used fresh cardamom pods that were ground down in there to add it as a brightening of flavor. And I was like, oh, hey, let's do this, let's share this, because when you get used to certain comfort foods, you think of it a certain way. So for me, it's going to be garlic powder, about 2 teaspoons or 10 grams worth. So some other things that you're going to want for assembling, if you are going to be like me and try to recreate some rice and bread crispy tofu, is some sesame seeds for topping, as well as some slivers of garlic. So knowing me, this is at least 6 cloves, probably even more, but just cut down to fine slices because we're gonna fry those and have that at the end with the fried tofu, just to add that contrast of, 1, that's what's in the dish originally. 2, tofu, has that balance after you get through that crunch, whereas garlic, when it's fried, it's just all crunch and all garlic and all good. On top of pressing the tofu, you can use a paper towel if you really want, but once you are content with the amount it's been pressed, go ahead and cut into cubes. Can be about 1 inch big, but doesn't necessarily, whatever size feels like will give you a happy food experience, I think is fine. Just recognize with, say, something that's smaller cut like this is going to end up frying a lot faster than something like this. As you can tell, it's been a little busy on my end, so I hope people are doing well. The world is wild right now, so I hope, again, whatever it takes to fill your cup, that you're doing that. For me, it's going to Portland with the dude and just meeting up with some folks and enjoying all the good stuff. But yeah, pretty straightforward here. We cut this, going to put that in a mixing bowl. Get a good bowl here. Put in all your dry ingredients. I have in the background the oil heating up to about 180 C. I do recognize I have a thermometer, so that does make my life a little easier, but you just want to have a neutral oil and keep it below smoking point. And then you try not to make a mess, but then you toss. Maybe make a mess. It is cooking, right? We're using heat here. We're just going to toss this in. I like to do mine in small batches if possible, just so that I don't rush things, recognizing that I'm already frying in small batches. Oh, I already made a mess. Just going to actually let this sit a little bit, make sure that the tofu, you know, even though we did push out moisture, it is going to absorb some stuff, but there is still going to be some moisture in it, which is why I personally say coat it twice before frying. But I'll see you in a minute because frying is really going to be the most interesting part. You already saw me coat this once. Coating it twice, really, it's going to look the same. Like I said, it's a small pot, so it's going to be an awkward angle today, but just wanted to show everyone this is the value of a thermometer. Make sure that everything is the temperature you hope it will be because, you know, too hot is easy to tell, especially if you hit smoking point, but too little and you end up with really soggy, potentially under-fried things. This is about 182, so it's a little bit hotter than usual, but as it fries, the temperature will drop down. So I have the paper towel and plate here for when it's done. We'll fry this for about 3 to 4 minutes, flipping after 2 minutes. But I like to just put this in, give it space, and let the magic happen. The reason we want to do small batches is not to overcrowd, so that we end up with good even cooking, as well as making sure that, you know, we're in control of what we're designing here. Designing, wow, this is cooking, not an experiment. I mean, it could be an experiment. I don't know if anyone enjoys Reddit, but there is a subreddit called I Didn't Have Eggs, and it is pretty good if you want to both laugh and or commiserate on some times where people have deviated from recipes, made experiments, and it's probably changed a little bit. But since this is hot oil, I'm going to focus in on this, so see you all in a minute. It's been 4 minutes. Look, I will put this on here, but look at that. It is freshly fried tofu. These are the fried tofu pieces. They are a little bit on the lighter side because, as I noted, temperature drops when you fry things. I didn't necessarily let the oil get back up all the time, so you can actually see one like here. This is the last batch. It's really hot, but wanted you to see how anemic it looks. That's just what you know is under frying. It isn't as tasty as the properly fried stuff, but waste not, want not, and now you can see too what happens when you do it a certain way. But to recreate this, be like the rice and bread tofu that I'm used to having with my friend. We would go here, particularly on Saturdays if we had a long week, and just treat ourselves to 𝘚𝘵𝗫 and rice and all this good stuff. But every once in a while we would split this, and this was a pretty happy shared dish. Again, we always wanted to have our rice and gravy, so as you can imagine, having this as a standalone on top of everything else would be a lot. So, wanted to just try to recreate a little piece of 𝘚𝘵𝗀𝘺 right here. Get a view. Oh no, you're just gonna enjoy this view. I forgot to bring probably the most important part, an eating utensil, so I'm just gonna shamelessly go for it. This is really good. I'm also really hungry, so I know I'm biased, but it's got the crunch. It's got the extra crunch from the garlic chips and the extra hit of garlic from that. There's some garlic powder in here, so it's already having a happy little garlic party. But the addition for the soy sauce is they always had it with a soy sauce drizzle. It would be mixed in with, I think, the excess oil from making the garlic chips, so you end up with like this nice little garlic oil that interacted with salt, with sulfur, and the happy tofu. But stay hungry, y'all. I'm about to feed myself, so I'll stay hungry after the fact, but thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.